Have you ever been in a situation where you start thinking about something that happened in the past and you're full of despair? You're just thinking about what could have happened, what should have happened, and the disappointment of things not going the way you had planned or you desired, or the regret over a mistake that you made, a decision you should not have made that you made, or a decision you should have made that you didn't make, and all these kinds of things. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this episode is partly inspired by recently watching the new live action Avatar, The Last Airbender. And there's an episode in which they're in this dream spirit world, and there is some monster there who basically creates fake versions of reality, or it recreates like a moment in your life that was maybe disappointing or depressing, or where you wish you could have gone back to do something differently, or you heard something that made you feel bad. So in this instance, for Katara, it was the moment where her mom died or was killed by the firebenders, and for Sokka, it was when he overheard his dad talking about how he was disappointed in his performance in some task that all the men in their tribe had to encounter. And for Aang, it was seeing the air temple with all the other airbenders, and basically the whole point of it was to get them trapped in their feelings of despair or regret or disappointment and all of those things. And both Sokka and Katara succumbed to it, but Aang didn't. And it got me thinking about how sometimes we trap ourselves, and maybe not like your whole soul or your whole life, but like aspects of yourself or parts of yourself or dreams that you've had or things you wanted to do. We just trap all of those things under past regret or past disappointment or despair or denial, and constantly looking to the past, constantly looking at what could have been, what wasn't, and so on. I think the important thing is that we have to fight for lack of a better word, right to be hopeful. We have to fight for ourselves to be able to dream of the possibilities beyond the mistakes that have been made, or the things that have been lost, or the things that we wish could be different. We have to keep fighting that fight, because pessimism is so easy. Pessimism, despair is so easy. It feels warm and comfortable sometimes. It feels like the thing to just do and let it be. But we really have to fight for ourselves to be able to hope and to love and to dream again. There's a quote I read recently, and it's supposedly said by Charlie Munger after he lost his son, his wife divorced him, he became very broke and everything. And if you don't know, Charlie Munger is like Warren Buffett's best friend or whatever, and they were like super rich from investing and stuff. And so he said, envy, resentment, revenge, and self-pity are disastrous modes of thoughts. Self-pity gets close to paranoia. Every mischance in life is an opportunity to behave well and learn. It's not to be immersed in self-pity, but to utilize the blow constructively. And I think that is very true, because sometimes we just like sit in this place of, oh, this didn't happen, and so life is pointless and nothing's ever going to be good again. And we just succumb to that and are trapped in that space where we're unable to move forward or do something different or do something else. I felt like when I was watching that episode of Avatar where Katara and Sokka got stuck, is because they let that moment define who they were as people. Like, they let those disappointing and sad moments define them. Like, in Katara's mind, it was always about the moment where her mom was killed and how she caused it or something. And for soccer, it was always like I have disappointed my father and now he's dead or whatever. But like those moments where we fail or where we make mistakes or where bad things happen to us, sometimes like we don't do anything, something just happens, right? It's like losing everybody he knew in his life. He didn't do that. It just happened to him. And we can spend so much time living in the past, living in a time that is gone, instead of looking forward to the possibilities that exist for us in the future, instead of looking forward to what is next, instead of looking forward to the kind of person that we can become, or the kind of things that we could do, or the possibilities. And it reminds me of watching A Man Called Otto. The main character, Otto, his wife has died like 6 months before, and basically she was the only thing that mattered to him. Nobody else. He felt like everybody was stupid and everybody was annoying or whatever, and he was basically trying to kill himself because she had died, and he felt like there was nothing left for him. And everybody thinks about A Man Called Otto as like, oh, it's so sad and whatever. But I think that it's actually a very beautiful story, and it's about love, and not just like Otto and his wife's love, but like how loving other people and opening ourselves up to be loved by other people gives our life meaning and purpose. How when we look beyond the things that are gone, if we try to see the possibilities in the now, in the moments where we're in, instead of thinking about the past and what has gone, what is lost, what will never be anymore, but focusing on the newness that is around us and the possibilities that are happening around us, it really gives us meaning and motion and drive in life. And that is what I find so beautiful about A Man Called Otto, because it's this man who thought that there was no meaning and purpose to his life, and by opening up himself to somebody else, discovered new meaning and discovered new purpose for himself, and not only for himself but for the other people who were in the community with him. It was like him allowing himself to care for other people again and to be cared for just resulted in so many good things for everyone. And that's why I cry every time I watch A Man Called Otto, because it's a beautiful story of redemption, and not in the sense of like somebody's being saved, but even personal redemption of knowing that you can change and you can see new things and you can experience new possibilities, right? So yeah, that's today's episode. Bye. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you enjoyed this episode or found any part of it insightful, don't forget to share with your friends on your social media, and be sure to leave a comment or a review if you can on your podcast listening app. Thank you.